Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 24 career mode, and today we're here for the third and final round of our debut season in Moto3. Now if you didn't see the last episode, I do recommend you go check that one out for the Malaysian Grand Prix. Pretty interesting race. Unfortunately, yet again, picked up a long lap penalty, so that is literally goal number one for this episode, is just not to do that. The pace was pretty good, but unfortunately we just didn't quite have the straight line speed of the AI in that race, and they were able to just jump out the corners a little bit away from me, keep me out of range for the actual braking zones to make the position, so we got beaten a little bit in the group that we're in, and unfortunately only came home in 7th position. But crucially, it was enough to beat Stefano Nepper, which brings us to this event here, the final round of the season, and our goal is to beat Daniel Holgado in this race, and if we can do that, we will have a MotoGP contract on the table. So obviously that is literally goal number one for this one. I really want to try and get a podium as well. That would be fantastic, because I've targeted a win in Sepang. Didn't really turn out that way, so hopefully we could try and pick ourselves up, try and get a podium in this race, because I think we've had the pace in the last two races to maybe do it. In Sepang was a little bit different, because I think the front three are a bit too far in front. Definitely could have done it in Chang. We could have probably tried to at least get 4th place in Malaysia, so hopefully if we can string this weekend together, we should be fighting right at the front. So without any further ado, we'll get into this weekend. Hopefully it's dry, because it's been wet every single race so far, and hopefully we are right on the pace. So at the end of practice then, you can see on the combined times, finally, we've actually done enough to get straight through to qualifying 2. So for the first time in this career mode, we won't have to go through Q1. I actually took a different approach to how I handled the sessions this time. So I did both practice sessions. I just did a couple of laps in both, and then just sort of fast forwarded to the end, or just skip to the end. And you can see we actually have a more realistic rider order. We've got Alonso first, Holgado second. Not sure why Zorotuza's up there. Well, I kind of do know, because I have seen in the game files that his AI is really good for some reason. But everybody else you kind of expect to see up there. It's not too weird. So it does seem that for some reason Furusato and Suzuki are just overpowered when you're actually on track, not when you simulate the time. So I'm not sure why that's the case at all, to be quite honest with you. It seems very, very strange. But either way, maybe there is a way to defeat those guys, and that's just to not let them have lap times on the circuit. So maybe that's the way to actually curb their dominance, put them a bit further back in the pack, and then maybe we'll have a race on our hands. So there may be a way to manipulate this a little bit in our way. But either way then, obviously Holgado is the man to beat. Second in free practice, half a second on me, quite a bit. Don't know if I'm able to find that, but hopefully going into qualifying 2, if we can put a good lap together, we'll start somewhere decent on the grid, try not to get a long lap penalty, and then the world is our oyster, because the race is flag to flag by the looks. Well, not flag to flag, but red flag, because it looks like it's going to start dry and rain by the looks of the forecast. So potentially we will have a stoppage in the race, which will affect things quite greatly. But without any further ado then, let's head into qualifying, and hope we've got the pace to start on those front couple of rows. So coming through Q1, then we had Munoz, Piqueras, Carraro, and Adrian Fernandez. So nobody that you wouldn't really expect to come through. I don't know why Fernandez is so far down, and Piqueras, to be honest. I suppose Piqueras, maybe if you base it off the first couple of rounds, he was a lot further down. Fernandez has been pretty solid in real life in the first couple of rounds, so not quite sure why he's going through Q1 every single time. But even still, I've probably gone the long way to change the tyres. Doesn't really matter, we'll go medium. Tell you what, actually, we'll try soft, because I tried medium and soft in practice, and that felt absolutely fine. So we might be able to get away with the soft front. If not, yeah, it doesn't really matter. We've got enough time, and the soft front never usually works for me particularly, but we'll see, I guess. We will see. But yeah, it's very strange that it seems that Furusato and Suzuki are only overpowered when you're on track. I'm surprised it's taken me 2 episodes to figure that out, but yeah, I think it's because I've been doing a lot of laps, just trying to get used to the game and trying to improve my lap times. But it seems like if you actually just skip sessions, they're not the same. They're not overpowered. They're actually where they should be. And from what I can tell as well, they are programmed in the game to specifically be in like these kind of positions. So I'm not sure how they're ending up miles ahead. I did find, actually, obviously in the last episode I was making a lot of comments about the AI being faster than me on the straights. I think that is partially true, but it's also the CIP bike. We did some testing in time trial against one of the other bikes that you can get in the debut season, the Honda Team Asia, and the Honda Team Asia is probably at least a second, if not a second and a half a lap faster at Sepang, for example, just by straight line speed. So yeah, we are, to be honest, we're doing very well to be where we are, it must be said. And that maybe does explain a little bit why Furusato is pulling away, but not sure why Suzuki's pulling away and what's happening with the other Hondas, to be quite honest. But oh well. seems a bit strange. We'll just have to get on with it. The front tyre did overheat a little bit through that right-hander, so I do feel like the soft front may be the wrong choice. So maybe we'll just try and get a lap out of it and then probably come back in and swap for the medium, because I just don't think it's going to be sustainable. Yeah, look at the overheating on that tyre. Yeah, there's no way that soft front is going to last. Again, it seems like in MotoGP 23, the soft tyre is just completely unusable on the front. You may as well just throw them straight in the bin. But I hope this front tyre cools down through this penultimate turn, because, I mean, look at it. I'm going to have to brake pretty hard for Adrian Campos, and if it's that hot already, we're going to be in a real mess. Actually, to be honest, it's just about stuck. I think it's just about done us for this lap, in fairness. I definitely will swap them after this one, but I think we have just about made that front tyre go to the end of the lap. So what's the time going to be? 41 dead, sorry, should I say. So it is the fastest lap of the weekend that we have done. So to be fair, it was worth more lap time, it seemed. Although that could be to do with the fuel load as well. 1.3 seconds clear of Furusato at the minute as well. So maybe Furusato is just not as good at this track. I'm not too sure. But that's pretty phenomenal, considering. I did hear that they are a little bit slower at this circuit, but you would think with adaptive AI, there wouldn't really be a problem. Although there probably is limits, so there's probably like they can only go so fast. So there is probably a way that if you're so fast at some tracks, you probably can stretch them still. We'll see. It's right at the start of the session, so plenty of time to go. And we're actually still on a decent lap here, but I think I will come into the pits. To be honest, actually, I might just continue the lap, and then if we improve, we improve. That's great. But I've just remembered I'm not riding manually into the pits again now. I'm not risking another long lap penalty for no reason. So we actually were going to improve, but I deliberately rolled off because I went massively on the green to the penultimate turn. Like, I just made a mistake, and it obviously was quicker, and didn't invalidate my lap for some reason, so I thought it was only fair to actually roll off, so it ended up being a little bit off, but we wouldn't have beaten it anyway without that. Furusato only 6 tenths off us now, so he has improved by a decent chunk. But we'll head back to the pits, try out the medium, see if we can go any quicker. Honestly, if this pace is genuine, I'm actually kind of disappointed that the race may be wet. I mean, I'm kind of going to be disappointed anyway, because we haven't had a dry race yet in this game. I mean, I'm aware that I'm pretty sure in the debut season the weather is sort of deliberately scripted. It was last year, because if you remember, we had these exact same conditions for Valencia and MotoGP 23 in the debut season, where the race started dry and rained, so it probably is somewhat sort of scripted to introduce you to the dynamic weather system, but yeah, it would be nice to have just a straight dry run to the finish, because it looks like here in Valencia we actually genuinely have some pace compared to the AI, which is crazy. We actually might be able to take it to Furusato this weekend, which is the first time I think I've been able to say that so far. And Ortola, speaking of taking it to Furusato finally not being the top AI here, and Suzuki seems to be nowhere, so maybe just at this track. I thought it was to do with the simulations, but maybe it actually is this track where they're just not strong. Actually, it would make sense though, because this isn't as much of a power track as the other two. The other tracks had long straights. I mean, remember Chang, huge back straight, followed by another huge back straight. Sepang, 2 huge straights as well. So it actually makes you wonder whether it is some sort of bug where those AI just have better straight line speed than the rest of them, because they were also dominating in the video that I did at Aragon while I was testing the adaptive AI, and that's another track with a really long straight. So maybe a bit more of a tight track like this actually plays into our favour and the other AI's favour, potentially. It is interesting. I'm also jabbering away about the AI. I'm actually underneath my lap time with the medium tyre, so it's definitely working. So towards the line then. We're going to be about 2 tenths underneath. We're actually losing out the last corner, to be honest. I thought I did a better last corner, but I guess I didn't. So towards the line then. 40.8, so our first 40 of the weekend. Extending our lead to 6 tenths of a second. To be honest with you, I think that's probably going to be enough for pole position. I can't see them finding 6 tenths in the last dying seconds of this session. And even if they do, I think we'll only be knocked down a couple of positions. So honestly, I'll absolutely take that one. 40.8, pretty good qualifying. And it really does seem that at Valencia, we've got some fantastic pace. So there you go then, finally our first pole position of the season, the first pole position of our entire career mode. 6 tenths of a second then ahead of Ivan Ortola in second place, Tyro Furusato in third, fourth for Rueda, and fifth for Stefano Nepa. So Nepa up in his game a little bit there. Again, makes you wonder whether maybe Nepa was supposed to be stronger in those other races. You don't know, it does seem a little bit weird. Furusato, obviously still starting third place, so he's still doing really well. Holgado, the crucial guy, down in 9th position. 1.2 seconds ahead of him. He really was off compared to what he managed to do in free practice. But that does bode well for us that he's down there. It gives us the chance to actually beat him in the race, and of course that is our turning point. The objective is to beat Daniel Holgado. So we're starting off in the best way we can. I'm interested to see where Suzuki has actually ended up. 16th place, last. So there you go, well, last in this session at the very least. So there you go, Suzuki and Furusato not seeming to have the advantage at this circuit. There's not been a patch or anything for the game either, so I'm not sure how they would have all of a sudden just gone a bit slower. I mean, Forasato's still right up there, but it actually does leave it potentially open for somebody else to finally snatch a victory, and hopefully that someone will be me. But without any further ado, let's get down to the track for the race. It's going to start off dry. Potentially looks like it's going to rain, so it's going to be the race to the 2/3 cut-off to see if we can try and win the race before the rain comes. But obviously, if not as much of a problem as it was in previous games, because the AI don't seem to be OP in the wet. So here we are then, down on the grid for the final race in our debut season, and I'm pretty sure I just saw on Autola then, he had a number 5 on his zip, the Zarco number 5, so that's interesting. Definitely a mistake there on the texture. They've taken Zarco's sort of zip and Zarco's suit, I think, to base the MT helmet suit on, so very interesting. But anyway, back to the actual race at hand, and this one is crucial. As you can see, it is cloudy, it is going to rain, but when will it rain? That's the thing. I mean, it looks very, very cloudy. That usually means that the rain is going to come very early. So I don't think, unfortunately, we're actually going to be able to make it to the 2/3 cut-off. I think it is going to actually rain before that. Not a massive problem, of course, because we have got decent pace in the rain. So it's not like in the previous game where that would have been a shame, and that would have been race over. Basically, we could pull away for the first like 5 laps or whatever, then the red flag would come out and we'd just go backwards to last. We actually are going to be able to compete in the rain, but I'd just like to have a dry race, to be quite honest with you. It'd be a little bit of a change of pace, and it'd let me try and race AI in the dry, which is not something I've had a chance to do yet in this career mode. Obviously, it's always been in the wet. But even still then, we are ahead of Holgado. He's a little bit down towards the back end of the top 10, so if we can get a good start, try and get away. I'm going to try and make a bit of a gap if I can. The old school way of sort of trying to win these races in the career mode is always to get to the front, get a bit of a gap in the early couple of laps and just manage it to the AI. So that is the goal for this one. I know it doesn't make for the most interesting race, but it is the best way to win them. So we're going to give it a go and see how I get on with it. But to be honest, I probably won't be able to make a break anyway if they have got some sort of advantage on the straights.
Riders in position, the green flag waving at the back of the field. Maximum focus now. Only a few seconds before the start of the Valencian Grand Prix.
Well, I'm saying all this, but actually Furusato will probably be the threat. He'll probably be really quick in the race. Same with Suzuki, so we'll have to see how they come through the pack. But here we are then, waiting for the lights to go out here at the Valencian Grand Prix. Holding for quite a while. Once again, lights out, and away we go. So as per usual, the final race of the season, Valencia. We've had a really good start. Furusato had a good start as well. So is Wade as we go down towards the first corner. It is looking really cloudy, like I said, on the grid. And I've turned it a bit too early through turn 1. That's definitely going to cost us a bit of time down towards turn 2. But Rueda has actually kept in front. In fact, he's got ahead of Furusato. I don't think it was Rueda, was it, that started alongside us. So fair play to Jose Antonio. He gets in front of Furusato. And like I said, this could be the end of Furusato and Suzuki's reign in this one, and Rueda is attacking us straight away. I'm not having Rueda mug me again. He mugged me in the last lap of Sepang last time. He's not going to take this race win away from me. I'm going to fight with everything I've got. If we have to get the elbows out, we have to, but it's the first race where we've not got a long lap, so fortunately we'll actually able to battle the whole time. Fernandez already getting a track limits warning on the first lap. One of you in the comments did point out that you should only be getting these really every single time there's a... Okay, wow. Wow. Did you see that with Furusato? No wonder he's winning every race. Did you see how he gained on me? Wow, okay. That's 100% confirmed now. This is why they're so fast. It's the straight line speed. Yellow flag. Zaratuza down. Zaratuza out of the race. Be interested to see if there's any stewards' inquiry about that. But I was about to say about the stewards' inquiry that it's annoying how it comes up every time they go off the circuit. It should be every time they actually get a track limits warning, which is on your last warning, funnily enough. But yeah, okay, Furusato, he's passed Rueda like he's standing still on the straight. I know the slipstream is powerful in this game. Look at this, down towards the last corner. Furusato comes up the inside of us. That just straight line speed advantage he has is ridiculous. But I tell you what, we're going to give it back to him today. We've got a good exit. We're going to use his slipstream to try and get it on him. And actually, to be fair, we're just about hanging in there with the slipstream. Can we try and make a pass down towards turn 1? I'm going to let the brake off. We're going to go for it into turn 1 because I've had enough of these guys using their straight line speed, and we've run wide. I've run off the circuit, in fact, so that was a terrible, terrible overtake. We really ran Forsato wide there. Rueda comes through. Nepa, so Stefano Nepa, our rival from the first couple of races, all of a sudden is fighting for the podium spots, and this is where it could get bad for me. It was fine when I was in front. When I was in front, I could kind of manage it. Round the outside we go, Stefano Nepa. We're going to have to try and be really aggressive here, which could be risky. We could pick up a penalty. And it's the first race where we haven't had one so far, but to be honest, it's best case scenario right now. Forasato's not leading, it's Rueda, so he won't have the full advantage on the straights, you wouldn't say, because he'll have a bit of slipstream, but he also may get held back a little bit. And you can look at that. It's ridiculous. I mean, even Rueda has a big advantage over me, but Forasato, I mean, I saw how he went past Rueda like he was standing still on the previous lap. This time, he's not been able to do it, but it's only a matter of time, and we're almost high-sided. The house trying to pick up the power as early as possible. So what you've got to do when you've got a bike disadvantage, you've got to push every area, find every little tenth you can. And you can see Forasato is already trying to line up Rueda for that race lead. And here he go. Look at that drive he's got on him. He's just going to ride through him. Look at that. I mean, it seems like the Honda and the KTM has been swapped around in this game. But the Honda's the one with the really good start of speed. We've picked up a trial this warning. We've gone to... Well, we've got to Estoril at that last corner, haven't we, quite frankly. And we've dropped down to 4th place now, so I think that's it. Probably our chance at the win over, because of that mistake there. I was trying to push the brakes as hard as I could to gain the time back. We're going to try and get Kelso into turn 1, hopefully make it a bit cleaner than we did with Forasato on the previous lap. And actually, Forasato's the one that's gone wide this time, so I ran him out of road last time. This time he runs himself out of road. And there you go then. That is Rueda back up into the lead of the race. Although Forasato's coming back at him again. We've got Colin Vea attacking us as well. I mean, to be fair, that time Vea got the better drive, but I did genuinely mess the corner up a bit. But round the outside, that's where the skill comes into it. Forasato's actually been ran a bit wide there by Rueda. Go on, Rueda, you tell him. You show him a wheel. And we're making sure that Forasato's not escaping at this one. Looking up the left-hand side to see where Suzuki currently is. He's not made his way through much yet, so... It does seem like at this circuit, the straight line speed is not helping them out as much as it would in the other tracks. The minute Holgado, only 7 tenths behind us. We were over a second in front of him at one point, so see all this battling has allowed him to get closer to me again. And obviously the big mistake we made as well. So 41.5 on that lap then. Not sure why the fastest laps aren't coming up on the left-hand side, I've just noticed. Forasata just hit Rueda at the back into turn 1 there, by the way. Just punted him out the way. Surely that's got to be a warning for Forasato, but he wasn't able to get the move done. But he has now, down into the doing corner, so this is it. This could be Forasato. Check it out now. Rueda's going to come back at him again. Josh Watley and Yamanaka going to try and miss warnings further back. Come on, Rueda. I need you to let the brake off on him. I need you to let the brake off on him. I'm pushing everything I've got through these first couple of sectors to gain the time back. It does seem to be working. It does seem like we actually do have the better lap time overall, which is great to see. But it's not as sustainable as straight line speed. Obviously, straight line speed, you have that every lap. Doesn't matter if the tyre's gone. You've got that every single lap, whereas in the corners... Every lap the tyre gets more worn, it's more risk to gain that time. And here comes the rain, so it's definitely not going to be a stoppage. Well, it is going to be a stoppage, but it's not going to be a confirmed stoppage. The rain's coming down on lap 4 of 12 here, so we're not even approaching half distance yet. We've just completed a quarter race distance on that previous lap, so the rain coming nice and early. I did think it would come early considering how cloudy it is. And to be honest, the rain dropping on the screen does look better than last year's game from what I remember. But I tell you what, the rain's coming at the right time. It's stopping Forasato from checking out, because at the moment he is absolutely pulling away. Here comes Vea around the outside. I mean, look, what are you doing, Colin? Colin's just veered at us into turn 1. We're going to set him up a little bit. Forasato actually goes a bit wide through turn 1 again. I think, to be honest, they're running wide. I think they're learning off me a little bit, and there was a few laps in practice where I did do that. So maybe they're actually learning from my mistakes. That's the correct line to take. But... that would be interesting. I don't know if they actually do learn the racing lines from you. I know they're pace scales based on your pace, but I don't know about the actual racing lines. I think they must do, because they don't run into the back of you as much as the when you turn it off. When you turn it off, they're like the old AI, and they just run into the back of you again. Well, at the minute, the rain is pretty light, so I mean, if it keeps going as it is, we are going to be getting towards 2/3 race distance. If it only goes really, really lightly, although to be fair, like I said, we're not even at half race yet, so I don't think we're got to worry about that too much. And here comes Alonso. Alonso overtakes us. Looking at track limits, Piastri track limits as well. And here we go, back up the side of Alonso. We really are getting the elbows out today. We're not messing around, but all of a sudden I cannot turn at all, so the rain is definitely getting worse. I could not turn at all into that corner. And you can see the AI are probably quicker in these conditions, because I'm still trying to adapt to them, whereas they're probably adapting a bit quicker to them. As you see, they are really starting to pull away from me now. I think they have better pace anyway even in the dry, but in the first couple of laps, I think I had slightly better pace. Alonso's good at the inside, but the last couple, they have been a bit quicker than me. And Alonso comes through, try and use the slipstream then. I think in the slipstream, if I could stay in the AI slipstream, my lap times are okay, but as soon as I drop out of that, like I did with the mistake at the last corner, just allows them to pull on me. And we're back past Alonso. Wow, we took his wheel off in there as well. I do apologise for that. And there we go. Red flag. Red flag for the rain. So the race is going to be restarted. So Forzato then on pole position. It will go off the last sector point. So yeah, it looks like Alonso actually has got the position over me. Even though I'd re-overtaken him, I think by the line he was still leading, which is fair enough. That's obviously how it works. So we've unfortunately lost our front row starting position. It's actually going to be the second row for this race restart. I am a little worried though, because we're at a point right now where the track doesn't look very wet. And I've had this in MotoGP 23 where when the track is like this, your tyres just shred, and then you just go backwards because you destroy your tyres in the opening couple of laps. So we will have to be careful with that one. But at the same time, we obviously need to try and gain some positions. I think this could be our chance to maybe have another shot at trying to win this race, because of course, earlier on, they just drove past me and there's nothing I could do.
The teams have adjusted the bikes. Everything's ready to resume the race in the new condition.
So here we are then, back to the wet conditions. This is what we've done every race in so far. This has been Forzato's forte, shall we say, as he's been pulling away in every single one then. But here we are, the lights are on, waiting for them to get here for the restart for the Valencian Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go, and I got a terrible one there. I just had a bad reaction time, to be quite honest with you. But hopefully if we get a slipstream, the AI's second phase to start still not that great. So we've got that past Colin Veyer. So we go towards turn 1. Forzato's gone already, by the way. He's absolutely gone. So yet again, having that advantage. Oh, we had a little bit of contact with Alonso there through turn 1. Apologies, David, but don't know what line he was sort of taking through turn 1. It was very, very bizarre. As we go around the outside of Rueda into turn 2. Yeah, it's not going to work out. Not really sure why I even tried that, to be completely honest, but I thought maybe I could do it a bit like I did in Chang at turn 4. Or was it turn 5? Can we attack at the inside of Jose now? No, 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 don't do that. Okay, yep, we've managed to back out of that one. There's a crash behind. Not sure who it is. Obviously, Zarathuza's already out, so it's not Zarathuza. Not sure. Didn't actually pop up and say. It's a shame, really, that it doesn't pop up on the right anymore. I mean, I know it's not done that for years, but I mean, it tells you when they get a trumpet's warning, which literally means effectively nothing, unless they get like 5 of them. But it doesn't tell you when an AI actually crashes, unless they're in like the top 8. So here we go then. Alonso just drove past us. He's absolutely rode past us. The drive he had there was incredible. I picked up a trumpet's warning because I was sort of trying to get out of its way, and it does seem like, oh, we are now under a bit of threat. And looking at the fuel, for the first time in this game, we're actually in a little bit of trouble with the fuel. So I got told it doesn't affect the power mode, doesn't affect the fuel, but we have seen before these red flag races, the fuel is not sort of calculated correctly, because it kind of just assumes that you're going to use the same amount of fuel as in the full race, even though you actually ended up doing an extra lap, if that makes any sense. So I've got to be careful. Look at this. We're just going backwards. But the crucial thing is, look at the gap to Holgado. 3.5 seconds. I think Daniel Holgado may well have been either the rider that crashed or involved in the crash that happened. I mean, look at this. Look at this. The AI are just pulling on me now. I'm using power mode 1. But I kind of have to because of the fuel conservation. And I'm going to run out of fuel if I don't do this. But I don't think power mode 1 really is affecting the fuel that much. So we'll have to see as we go through turn 1 once again. They are a bit wide, but just nothing. I mean, I didn't have any drive anyway, but even less so now. Try to go around the outside of David Munoz. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The front's gone. The front's gone. The front has gone. So again, a risky pass around the outside has gone badly for me. And we're down to 11th place. Another crash further back. Yellow flag. Actually, sector 1. So it's the sector that we're in. So the fuels are getting back under control. So we run massively wide there. Try and turn the bike back up to power mode 2. So we've got plus 0.2 laps of fuel again. So hopefully we can try and use power mode 2. Then maybe go back into power mode 3 and try and get some of these places back. But at the minute, we are just going backwards. As we've got the inside of Bertelli. That was an aggressive pass. That was very, very aggressive. But we've got to be aggressive in this situation. I mean, the track is bone dry on the racing line, which is ridiculous because the rest of the track is wet. Which, yeah, I guess actually kind of makes sense. But why would the racing line be really dry when supposedly there was a stoppage? And that's, you know, the track has got really wet in that time. I don't know, because there'd been nobody going around drying the racing line up until literally now. But oh well. Forzato, though, looks like he is going to get another victory, unfortunately. Not that I have anything against him, but just because he's obviously got a massive advantage on the straight line speed. David Alonso track limits warning as well. Gap to Holgado, still just about 3 seconds, so if we keep circulating at this, we should be safe. We should be able to beat him. I think, to be honest, we've got very lucky whatever's happened to him. Might have to have a look on the replay, see what happened to him, but in a minute, it seems like we've had some good luck with that. And what the AI do through turn 1, they're really running wide every lap now. And to be honest, that could be our saving if they keep doing that. So we are then at the inside and help a Carras, although it's not going to be enough. So again, we're just right on the edge of fuel. I mean, it's better to finish 11th than not to finish. That's the juggling act that we're doing at the moment, unfortunately. So we're trying around the outside of Angel, not quite be able to do it. Oh no, never mind. We've now been overtaken by Suzuki. So here we go. Suzuki's finally coming through. It does look like, again, he has got some supreme speed. I mean, look at how much he was closing up Piqueras there. Be interested to see, could Suzuki actually get up into a decent spot? It's clear that they struggle to pass still. Even like at this circuit anyway. I think at other tracks, they'd be fine. But this track's obviously not very straight on speed dependent. Okay, we just pushed Suzuki a little bit. Fortunately, it was only a minor touch on the back. So probably not going to get a warning or anything for that. We're going to try and get the switch back on them. I mean, again, we are still right on the edge of the fuel, even in power mode 2. Thing is, I just can't run power mode 1, even though we're like right on the edge of the fuel. We're just losing too much time in power mode 1. I mean, at least in power mode 2, we're gaining on some of the AI. Again, you're probably going to ask why I keep going on the outside of them, and it's just because I know I'm gaining so much on the brakes. If I try and take the outside, it's more like the normal racing line. I can try and get back on it, but obviously it's not really working out. To be honest, maybe worth just trying to sit in the situation with Piqueras here and save a bit of fuel. There's a crash! Forosato! Forosato's dropped it! I said Forosato was going to end up winning the race. He's dropped it, and Suzuki's hit him, and we've hit Suzuki then because of that. So the two, they've been pulling away. We've actually had a collision there, and the red flag is out. Red flag out for the crash. Okay, that's the first time I've had that in a single-player race. Forosato, so lucky. Forosato has all the luck in the world. He causes a red flag, or a crash that's at least resulted in the red flag, and that's allowed him to get back up into the lead on pole position once again. Ridiculous. And to be honest, I'm scared that even more so now our fuel could be out of whack. I don't know whether the race distance will have been reduced again or whether it will just be redoing that race, but I think our fuel could be in a real mess now because, again, we've done an extra corner of the circuit, and I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it doesn't allow you to put more fuel in the bike, which is just not how it works, I don't think. But also, it doesn't allow you to save the fuel enough, and it would be the same for the AI as well, but of course, it isn't calculated. So this has changed again because Holgado is now back in the pack, even if he had that crash before, so Holgado could be a bit of a threat, so we're going to have to try absolutely everything to try and beat him, because that is the only goal left now. Forget points, forget anything. It's all about Daniel Holgado.
The officials have given the okay, so the race can restart now for the remaining laps.
At least the track is quite wet now, so hopefully our tyres won't be in any trouble. I don't know if we have fresh tyres on, actually. You think we would, but you never know. No, we've not got fresh tyres on. But here we are then, waiting for the lights to go out here for the final time, hopefully, for this Valencia GP. Lights out and away we go. Oh! Okay, he's out of the race. He's actually retired from the race. He must have been involved in that red flag, so Daniel Holgado's out. We've beaten him now, so basically, just go for the positions. As I was saying that, been a great start through turn 1. Luca Lunetta gets about past us there. But our fuel also is looking in a good position as well. Plus 0.3. So I'm going to go up to power mode 3. And let's give this what we've got, because the heavy rain is coming down now. It's only a 4-lap race as well. So let's see what we can do. Obviously, Forosato looks like he's going to check out again. But maybe we can actually still get a good result out of this one. We're going to get the switch back here on Luca Lunetta. Yes, we've actually outdrove somebody. So there we go. Up into P7. I can't believe that. So a stroke of luck there. The red flag, really, it's actually sorted our fuel out and put Holgado out of the race. Well, Holgado didn't get put out of the race because of the red flag. He was obviously part of the red flag, but seems like Forosato, whatever mistake he made, obviously caused a massive, massive pile-up. I don't know if we'll actually be able to look at it on the replay either, because I imagine the game just treats this as a completely separate race, but I can't believe it. We've got so lucky with that he's out of the race. I mean, he's obviously had 2 crashes there, pretty much, or at least got involved in one, because he suddenly just dropped back 3 seconds. So Holgado's had a stinker of a weekend. In fact, I've just thought as well, that's going to make Alonso the champion, isn't it? Darren Alonso at the moment is P3. It's 12 points back of Holgado. That actually is going to turn the tide of the championship. That is crazy. This has been an insane race. And when Yoss scored at the inside of us since this last corner, all of a sudden we are in fuel troubles once again as well. So I've used power mode 2, but I'm probably going to drop to power mode 1. It's got minus 0.1 a lap of fuel. We'd probably actually still just about make it to the end. We're able to roll to the line, but I think for now we're just going to have to try and consolidate whatever we've got. I wanted to go on the attack there, but just isn't going to turn out that way. And on the inside we go with David Munoz. into turn 1 to retake the position for now. Someone's wide again. Oh, someone's down. Who is that? It's Nepa. Nepa's down. He got straight back on the bike, though. I guess that's what Forasata did. It seems like for some reason they are running wide through turn 1. I really hope it's not because I ran wide in practice there a little bit. There's been another incident behind as well with Nepa, Lunetta and Ogden. I'll tell you what, actually, in these wet conditions, Power Mode 1's actually kind of working here as well. We're not actually losing that much time now to the other guys. It wasn't like in the slightly damp conditions. Nepa's actually got a warning for whatever incident that was. But I tell you what, all of a sudden we're coming back to Vicaris again, a bit like we were previously. So maybe a top 5 still in the cards here. No, it doesn't seem like it. As soon as you get to this straight, that's it over, because Munoz has just absolutely blasted me. It's actually worth noting, if there is another red flag now, the race would be completely abandoned. And I don't know how the results just are calculated off that. I think in real life they go back to the first red flag, so I think we'd actually be P4 if that was the case. But I don't think the game works like that, so I don't think we'll see another red flag in all honesty now, but we could do. But that's the first time we've seen a red flag because of a crash as well. Obviously, I've seen it because of the track conditions many times. Obviously, in MotoGP 23 it happened quite a few times. Forasata fastest up of the race, 49.2. And I actually have seen the red flag come out online a few times, but I've never seen it in single player. It's the first time I've experienced it in single player. And through turn 1, Picaras is wide, so is Munoz. Can we get the run on Munoz? Yes, we can. So we've overtaken David, but to be honest, I also went a bit wide, so I think I need to just be careful to turn 1. And that should be some free positions. Another yellow flag, so probably more AI going over that curb and crashing, seemingly. Picaras definitely pulling away from me now as well. Although in that section, just in that turn 3-4, we just gained so much back on the AI. It's like, it's tenth of a second. It's probably like half a second. It's crazy. If we can get closer for a slipstream, we could be in a position to attack him here. Okay, we kept in front of Munoz this time. That's pretty crucial. That has changed things a bit. We don't have to re-overtake him now, so we can focus all on Angel. And to be honest, I'd really love a top 5 to end off this season. So that would be 2 top 5s out of 3, which is much better than we did in MotoGP 23, that's for sure. Really showing that these adaptive AI are working, because we're not winning the races. It's not like the AI difficulty is too low. It's probably about right. I mean, obviously, we don't get to control the difficulty when it's adaptive, but it seems like it's providing us with some good races so far. Tell you what, that entry to the last corner was phenomenal. We're right on the back of Picaras, but look at this. Out the last corner, we get dropped by Angel. Try and use a bit of a slipstream, but the slipstream doesn't seem to work from very far away. It's just when you have it, it's very powerful. But just try and brake correctly for this first corner. Although we've got Suzuki at the other side of us now, and Munoz. I'm just going to try and get the switch back on the pair of them. Yes, I have. Picaras. Oh, Picaras is high-sided. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I thought we were going to be in a position to get the switch back there on Picaras, but he's high-sided into us. We somehow stayed on the bike. I don't know how we've managed it, but that's 5th place gone now because Tatsuki Suzuki's the one in front of him, in front of us now. And yeah, we're not going to get him, but fair play to Suzuki. He's actually done very well to recover from 17th to 5th. I know there's been a lot of carnage, but he actually had a pretty good ride there, because it's clear that the straight line speed is not as much of an advantage at this circuit, but clearly it still is, because Forasata was using it to good effect earlier on. Right, we might have to do an Alex Rins here, if you guys know what I'm on about. No, I think we're too far for that. Last corner of the 2013 Moto3 race for the championship, he sent it at the inside. He did get in front, but he obviously then lost the drive to the line. I don't know, I can't remember if he actually got completely squared off or just didn't have the drive, but cost him. He had to go for it, to be fair, but he probably would have been better off trying to sit in the slipstream. And oh, the inside goes Ortola, but we're just hung it around the outside of him. Let's go up into higher power mode. Screw it, we should be fine. Try and use Ortola. No, Ortola's gone around the outside of us. So it's going to be 6th place then to end off our first debut season in Moto3. So there we go then. Taira Forasata wins yet again then in Moto3. Alonso finishes 2nd and Rueda rounds off the podium. Ortola just got us to the line there, so we ended up finishing in P7. Obviously, Holgado retired early on, which obviously completely changed the way that the race actually played out. He's actually at the bottom of the tyre sheets, but he actually retired definitely after Zaratuza, because Zaratuza retired whilst it was still dry. I think Holgado got caught up in that. I'm not too sure exactly what happened, to be quite honest. I think he might have got caught up in a crash at the restart, actually, but even still, Holgado ended up a few seconds behind us, but then unfortunately for him, got involved in a crash that caused that red flag, so that's actually put him out of the running for the championship and for beating us in the turning point. As for the championship then, yes, of course, David Alonso wins the championship after that race there. 8 points clear of Holgado in 2nd. Ortola ends up in 3rd place. Vea in 4th. And 5th, of course, for Rueda. Forsato, as I expected, has actually jumped to myself and Nepa. We managed to still beat Nepa, didn't manage to catch up to Munoz. To be honest, Forsato was only a point off of beating Munoz as well, so that would have been a really, really good last few races for him. And as for the Teams Championship then, CF Moto, with the red GasGas colour, which is still very, very strange, overtakes the Red Bull GasGas team with the KTM colour. That's actually a big swing there. I think because neither of their riders scored, I don't think. So, and I think the two Aspar guys did pretty well. So that's a big swing there. MT Helmets obviously winning the championship. Liquid Molly, Husqvarna, Intact GP in second place. CF Moto end up in third, and we end up down in 10th position. But there you go then, that's our debut season complete. The turning point complete as well, so without any further ado, we'll head back to the Career Hub, see what's been said on the social medias, and then see what's waiting for us there, because I think we will have some contract offers for the next season. So there you go then, we gained 11,400 reputation. We're actually now winner, and that's actually given us access to the MotoGP classes. You can see there, unlocked access to MotoGP, and of course, beating the turning point. So we gained quite a lot of RP, obviously, for actually managing to complete that. And here we go, the little season summary screen. Of course, we literally only did the 3 rounds at the end of it, but we did get a pole position. So there's at least one stat on there that was nice. So we're taken to the team selection screen now for our next season. You can see we've got 2 options in Moto 2. In fact, 3 options in Moto 3, sorry. 1 option in Moto 2 and 2 options in MotoGP. Now, for this year, I had already decided before we got into the career mode that I wanted to jump straight into MotoGP. Now that's partially because obviously last year's game I didn't actually ever get to MotoGP, and I actually want to get there with the rider transfers, all that kind of stuff. I think that'd be really, really cool. Maybe we can add some mods in the future seasons as well to really, really spice it up. And I think that will be quite a fun thing to do. Another reason really why I want to do that as well is because at this point there's no the Moto 3 liveries aren't done, the Moto 2 liveries aren't done, so I don't really want to do a season with those bikes when the liveries are not done. So I think what I will do instead is when those updates finally come out, I'll actually do a season as a real rider in those 2 categories. So we'll still get some Moto 3 gameplay, still get some Moto 2, but I think I am going to go to MotoGP. And out of the 2 that we have, obviously we've got the Aprilia, the RNF, Trackhouse Aprilia should I say, it's just ingrained in my head to call it RNF. And then obviously the GasGas team will be Acosta's teammate, or we can be Oliveira's teammate. And I think, to be honest, I'm going to go with the Trackhouse Racing because I think it's just a bit more realistic to go with this team, whereas the GasGas team, you kind of had to come through the KTM ranks, and we haven't really done that. So we were on the CIP bike, we weren't in the Red Bull KTM team or anything. So for our first season in the MotoGP class, I think we're going to go with Trackhouse Racing. So there you go then. That was really cool. I actually wasn't expecting that at all. I thought it was going to be the normal little team cutscene that you get when you sign for a new team, like they go and shake the hand and they have like the team logo in the background. But no, it's really cool. They actually made a version of the MotoGP intro in the game with the in-game riders. Now you will have seen there, of course, we are using number 7 for this season. I think we could use number 27, but I just thought that's a bit more associated with Lequona. So I didn't really want to take that. So I thought I'd just take number 7. I would have used 7 in Moto 3, to be honest, but Farioli had it. Obviously, well, I'll do use 72 if I could, but obviously Bezzecchi has that in this class. And obviously Forsato had that in Moto 3. But that was really, really cool, I can't lie. So that was a bit of a surprise. I hadn't seen that in anybody else's video, so that actually was my first time seeing it, so that's pretty cool. We have got 3 messages on the social media feed, though. So we actually got one from our teammate, Noah De Vitler. Maybe the season could have gone better, but in the end, we gave it our all. Let's enjoy the break and recharge our batteries for next year. Then we've got Vinales. The fact that bikers come to Aprilia means a lot to all of us. There's still lots of work to do, and we are sure we can work together and enjoy great seasons. Good luck. Well, thank you, Maverick. That is very nice for you to say. So what are we going to say in response? Thank you. It's nice to have the chance to be part of a brand like Aprilia. I can't wait to start. Wow, I've just read the opposite one, you can say. That is really harsh. I knew that Aprilia was excited to welcome someone into the team who rides to win. Well, it would be nice to Maverick because, well, I love Maverick, so we're never going to be mean to him. Ralph Fernandez, biker is joining Trackhouse Racing MotoGP, a tight-knit team of really hard workers. This addition means we'll definitely be able to achieve even better results. Well, I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty sure I'm taking your ride. So I would not really expect to see be very happy about that, but I guess it'll be nice to him. Thank you so much. It's nice to have the chance to join such a fantastic team and prove my worth. So there you go then. That is the social media side of it dealt with. I actually want to have a look at the rider team. Oh no, so actually it is Fernandez that is my teammate. So even though on the screen where it was like, oh, do you want to sign for this team? It said Oliveira was going to be my teammate. It's actually Ralph Fernandez who's my teammate. So that's actually interesting. So Oliveira is the one that's actually lost his spot on the grid because of us. But there you go, I think that's where we will leave it for this episode then. So the debut season in Moto3 complete. We just impressed everybody so much by finishing P7, P5 and P8 that they decided to put us straight into MotoGP. A little bit unrealistic, but to be honest, this was the category I wanted to go straight into anyway. So the fact that we managed to beat Holgado and get the chance to do that was really, really good. Let me know what you guys think about the idea of doing the Moto2 and Moto3 seasons later on as real riders as well, because I really do want to do that. I know you guys want to see Moto2 and Moto3 content. I want to play with those bikes as well, but to be honest, I want to get to the MotoGP class, get some of the rider transfers on, see what shenanigans we can have. Like I said, definitely going to apply some mods from Season 2 onwards as well, and you guys will love it. I assure you, you will really, really enjoy what I have got in store. So hopefully we can get on with this season and we can be somewhat competitive, but of course it is MotoGP. Another reason why I kind of want to jump into this class is it's more realistic that we will jump into the class and be kind of a little bit slower, especially on this bike. We will be towards the back with the adaptive AI to start with. It'll take a while for us to be getting good results, so it will be a bit more of a realistic career progression. But hopefully you guys did enjoy that one. If you are new to the channel, please do like the video and subscribe because it really helps me out. And of course, it is a win-win for both of us as you get some more MotoGP 24 content in your subscription feed. I hope you do enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.